Pisces, welcome to your March 2018 love reading. It's Rena here. So, just shuffling the cards. Happy birthday to those of you who are born in March as well as February, because I'm recording this before the sun goes into Pisces. If you hear anything in the background, we're digging out of a big snowstorm, so somebody's shoveling out there. Hopefully it won't be too intrusive. Maybe I should put these in the middle. Well, so far, there's some real cards that are really associated with relationships, that's for sure. Okay, so it's funny. I had two readings in the past where I had the Two of Cups, and I put it as a title, Reunited, and it feels so good. And they both generated a lot of views. And I might have to do it for the third time, just to see if that seems to be something that people are looking for in their lives. And this is a card of that. This is a card of a possible situation arising where you come back into contact with somebody that you've been estranged from. Now, we are having a Mercury retrograde at the end of March, actually March 22nd, I believe. So this may be some connection to that, because sometimes you hear from people from your past during a Mercury retrograde. For some of you, if you're in a relationship, it's a sense of making that commitment. So it's taking it to the next level. Let's look at the past position to kind of gain more insight into exactly what's happening. So in the past position, we have the Nine of Swords, which is a card of anxiety. The person, which would be you, feeling a sense of discomfort about your situation, your relationship. Now, obviously for some people, if let's say somebody left you, and you had that feeling of being rejected, you may have, it may have triggered anxiety within you because you wanted to get back together. Now, I was just thinking, that's what kind of got me a little bit distracted, because I was thinking, I wonder if there's a possibility that any Pisces person felt that they were left due to their behavior. And an example would be if you went outside of the relationship, and you may have done so not maliciously. Maybe your partner was neglecting you, and you slipped up and you went outside of the relationship, and you felt like the other person wouldn't forgive you, and they have. And then we have this kind of seals the deal, because this is a card of new beginnings in love. Now, typically, I would say that this is a new relationship, but it is possible that you were with someone who you really weren't relating to each other on that love level. Maybe you were kind of having a more of a physical relationship, or you were the other person didn't realize how much that they loved you until the relationship split up, and now it's like you're on the same page with this. So these are such wonderful cards, the Two and the Ace of Cups. They both point to a relationship in a good place. It could be in an early stage, but with the Two of Cups, there's a sense of that commitment. So I'm thinking that perhaps you had a relationship with somebody who just didn't get it, who didn't understand, and now they do. Or maybe you were both careless about it, and you were seeing other people, and you realized that you're meant for each other. So any way you want to slice it, it turns out into something very romantic and positive. Now let's look at the higher message, okay? We're looking at the Three of Swords. So this is a card that we associate with that heartache, heartbreak, feeling of rejection that I was talking about. This is something that the Nine of Swords in the past position may relate to. Now, what in the heck could this have to do with what's going on, since it's so positive? Well, as the higher message, I think it's, first of all, it's looking at it from a perspective of how your past has been. If you have experienced, Pisces, a lot of disappointment in love in the past, it's possible that you brought that to this current situation, and maybe you anticipated the worst, and that was your own mentality that was working against you. In some cases, this could have been like a three-party situation. As I said before, I even thought that perhaps some Pisces people may have been the ones that were going outside of the relationship, and that's what sparked the ending of that, the dissolution, the dissolving of the relationship. And this would indicate that that other person may have really felt hurt. But now the person has gotten over it, and you've gotten back together with that person. Obviously, it may be the other way around, where you're the person that felt the heartbreak, but you forgave, and now you're back together with that person. And there's a feeling, that's what I like to see, though. There's a feeling of it being a new phase in this relationship. And, of course, there's a lot of newness going on because you're having your new moon, and that's happening on the 17th of March. So you're having your solar return, you're having your new moon, and you're having this new beginning in love. And even if this is a relationship that was already happening in the past, there's a newness to it in some way. The challenge card, what crosses you, is represented by the Ten of Wands. So this may be an old pattern that needs to just kind of be kicked to the curb, which has to do with anything where you are taking on the responsibility for the relationship. And this may be I would say if it's an obstacle, it's probably a very deeply ingrained pattern in Pisces to kind of, I'm thinking of the sign of Pisces, and it's like taking on the karma of the world, That's kind of like the Christ-like figure. And they actually say that Jesus was a Pisces, because I know Chris Christopherson has a song that says Jesus was a Capricorn, but that Jesus was a Pisces because that's why the fish represent Christianity. They was actually born in March or what have you, and they moved it to December because of the pagan rituals. So whatever. The point being that there is that sacrificial element to Pisces that this card I associate with this feeling of this person carrying these burdens. But do these all these wands and being burdened by them, but do they all really belong to him? Is he the one that has to always carry everyone else's water for them? Or is it a fact that maybe it's time to change that paradigm and start to, you know, do not allow yourself to get codependent, or if somebody tries to put something onto you, that you are going to automatically take the blame for it, okay? That's where I'm going with this. This can also be a card of you in your career. If you're working very hard, you may not have time for the relationship. And I'm wondering if for some people that's what led to problems in the first place, because they didn't have time to be together and they drifted apart, and one person went outside of the relationship and the rest was history. So just bringing that into things. And then we talk about the near future. We have the Eight of Wands. We have this card of a lot of action going on and a lot of sparks flying. You know, remember that the Wands connect to fire energy. And I'm even wondering if some of you are getting with a Leo person, if that's the person that you're involved with. I don't know if I've ever personally met a Pisces Leo couple, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. But this is a very exciting kind of an exchange between two people that you may be, you know, coming up with plans, doing things very quickly. There may be a lot of, like I said, sparks flying, and things get hot and heavy very quickly, in other words. But what I like is, because, you know, anyone can have an affair, and that doesn't mean it's going to last very long. I like the fact that you have the Ace of Cups there, because to me, it suggests that it's not just a physical, like an affair type of like a fling, and that it might actually be the beginning of something that is a meeting of two souls, because the cups are you know, water signs. Maybe that other person is a water sign too. It's possible that they have fire element. Maybe they have Aries and Cancer or what have you, you know, can run the gamut. And what's the other? Yeah, something along those lines. Or Sagittarius, you know, that's a fire sign. So the outcome is the Strength card. And it's almost, to me, you know, starting with that Nine of Swords, it's like you have, to me, it's a sense of healing, that you've really been tested for some reason, Pisces, and you've come through the fire, and you maybe have discovered that you're stronger than you know. And that could be really good for you to hang on to, because Pisces people are very loving people. And this is a card of loving yourself and knowing that you have what it takes to make it no matter what. And to me, that's the greatest gift that you can give yourself, is realizing that you will survive no matter what, just like the song says. And so it's a card of inner strength. It's a card that is associated with Leo, so there could be some kind of a Leo connection in some way, and you may have more confidence now. But definitely, if I want to recap this reading, it looks like you're having love come into your life. And if it's not someone that you have just met, then it's something that is not how it was before. So I do get this feeling of being reunited with somebody, forgiving and forgetting, or making a commitment, whereas before you felt almost like tortured because you didn't know if that person would ever commit to you, and that maybe there was even a third party involved on their end. Maybe they, you know, when you met them, they were with somebody else, you know, and perhaps they've left that person, or they were seeing both of you at the same time. I don't know. So anyway, all's well that ends well. So that's what's important. Okay, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private love reading or any other type of reading, please click on the link below. My website is ReinaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.